They settle trillions every single day, 2 to 3 quadrillion with a Q every single year, and they have over 100 trillion in assets within their custody platform. We're talking about the Depository Trust and Clearing Corporation, otherwise known as the DTCC. And today, they just announced that they're choosing the Stellar Network, part of their multi-chain strategy, and we'll talk about that. Before you get upset, before you rage quit XRP or another blockchain because you see that the DTCC chose Stellar, before you jump to that conclusion that XRP won't be used or other chains won't be used, before you jump there, stick around for this video because we're going to explain how the XRP ledger is also well suited to handle the DTCC flows. And we're also going to highlight the fact that the DTCC is saying that this is part of their multi-chain strategy. Overall, this is a massive win for digital assets, further proof and a testament that this is the future, that traditional financial rails are moving on-chain. It is happening now. It's not speculation. This isn't something that we're just trying to drum up to generate some hype. This moves beyond the hype to the real utility. And as I always say, it's the trillion-dollar problems that turn me on. What cryptos, what assets do I want to invest in? The ones that are ready to handle trillions of dollars of liquidity and flows. And the trillion-dollar problems are the ones that really turn us on as far as addressable markets and utility that we have focused on investing in. So if you appreciate our content, please help us out by liking these videos, sharing them out far and wide. And if you're new here, make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell. I just got back from our family trip to Idaho. Very happy to be back in the office. 10 out of 10, North Idaho, fantastic. And I just created a new playlist on my YouTube channel titled Strategic Relocation in 2026. So stay tuned for that content. Let me know if you guys like the real estate content, strategic relocation. Go check out that update, and there's going to be more on that coming soon. So really excited for that. But let's get back into crypto, guys. This is massive, okay? The DTCC and the Stellar Development Foundation announced today plans to enable the tokenization of DTC custodied assets on the Stellar network. This collaboration advances the DTCC's multi-chain strategy. Let me repeat, this is a multi-chain strategy and expands how traditional assets move across digital ecosystems. DTC tokenized assets are expected to be made available on the Stellar network in the first half of 2027, supporting the evolution of a more open, interoperable, and efficient financial ecosystem. Now, I have to really highlight that point right there, that this is a multi-chain strategy. Before you rage quit and sell all of your XRP for Stellar. And I'll just let you guys know my bias right now. I don't have any exposure to Stellar right now. It had a great run up, and I took profit on Stellar. I haven't gone back in since. And so I've been watching Stellar very closely, and we've been waiting for announcements and partnerships like this one. This is massive. Makes me want to FOMO into Stellar, even though we're seeing some big green candles coming in today, and I don't like FOMOing into big green candles. But now I'm kicking myself thinking, gosh, this is why you had exposure to XLM in the first place. I've just traded in and out of XLM for, the 6-7 years that I've been in crypto. But massive, massive news here. Once again, to highlight these numbers, over 100 trillion in assets that they have under their custody. And then they settle trillions per day. In fact, I just pulled up the numbers. It's really just incredible. You're looking at 5.55 trillion was the peak single day value that they hit in April of 2025. Now, the FICC Government Securities Division, which is a part of the DTCC, saw average daily volumes around 11 to 13 trillion by late 2025, with peaks over 13 trillion. So underneath, and part of the DTCC, you got settlement for securities, derivatives, and then government securities as well too. There's a lot that gets settled at the DTCC. And if you look, these numbers are staggering. In 2022, the total value settled was 2.5 quadrillion with a Q. I like to note that. Not billion with a B, not trillion with a T, quadrillion with a Q. Yeah. In 2021, it was 2.37 quadrillion. In 2020, it was 2.33. But they say in 2024, they actually reached 3.7 quadrillion of value settled in that year alone, 2024. So This is why we say that we've barely touched the surface. We barely have a drop in the bucket when it comes to the value that's coming on chain as far as the tokenization. And then once you get it on chain, you really want to see the trading and the volume, right? If it just comes on chain, that's not really going to move the price of these native tokens for the network, right? You could bring all of these assets onto the Stellar network, but if there's no activity that drives demand and burns the Stellar token, XLM, right? You're not going to see value increase. And so we've talked about this and we've broke this down as we've looked at the DTCC coming to XRP Ledger, coming to Stellar, and just like many of these institutions, it's a multi-chain approach. I'm going to give you one more example before we play the clip here from Danelle Dixon. Just like with stablecoin issuers, right? Tether issues on multiple chains, Circle, multiple chains. Even Ripple has issued RLUSD on Ethereum and the XRP Ledger. It's a multi-chain strategy so that you just continue to build out better liquidity and access to your platform's assets, trading, or whatever tokenized real-world asset you've created, whether that be a stablecoin, real estate, bonds, equity, etc. And so now the DTCC has made this announcement, and I'm actually expecting more chains to be chosen by the DTCC. I don't necessarily think that it's going to be all going to Stellar, but we have to celebrate this moment. Whether you own XLM or not, if you're in crypto and you're not cheering this moment on, you're missing the point. Right? We have institutions that settle quadrillions per year coming on chain. That's something to get excited about. Today, you got this coming out. I'm going to play this clip from Danelle Dixon.
Today, DTC's tokenization service announced its plans to connect with Stellar. DTCC is the backbone of global capital markets. 50 years of post-trade infrastructure and $114 trillion in custodial assets. And starting in the first half of 2027, DTC tokenized assets are expected to be available on the Stellar network. That means US Treasuries, ETFs tracking major indices, constituents of the Russell 1000 on a public blockchain with the same investor protections, entitlements, and safeguards as those that are currently held in custody today. We've spent more than a decade building a network that institutions can depend on. Stellar was built to move institutional volume, meet compliance standards, and manage risk from day one. The Stellar network was truly built for this moment. Today,
So a huge congratulations to Danelle Dixon, who is the CEO and executive director of the Stellar Development Foundation, the entire Stellar team, and everybody in the community. This is just massive. I'm so happy for everybody. And like I said, I don't own any XLM right now, but this shows us that they're coming on chain. And I want to remind everybody that Stellar is essentially, I'm not going to say it's a fork of the XRP Ledger, but it's a carbon copy of the XRP Ledger. There's a couple differences, right? They burned half their supply, which had no impact on price, by the way. People that think that that would help XRP, it had no effect on Stellar. But what Stellar does have that the XRP Ledger doesn't have right now is smart contracts. So that is one thing that is, positioning Stellar, I think, to take on this. And it's one thing that the XRP Ledger is missing. Now, before you give up out on XRP, please understand, we have multi-purpose tokens on the XRP Ledger, along with additional amendments that basically complete our platform without adding native smart contracts. But I think that this was, part of the reason why Stellar got in the room and was able to, get this deal done, is that they do have the smart contracts enabled, Sorobon, and that seems to be going really well. And so, just hats off to the Stellar team. During this bear market, especially when we're all feeling down, it's all negative. Let's celebrate this moment. I really am encouraging our community to be excited and happy about this moment. It's the validity that you've all been waiting for. How does XRP go to $100? How does Stellar go to, I don't know what the Stellar hype boys are saying. How do we get to there? This is it. This is what we've been waiting for. And we all should be celebrating this moment. And on the back of that, we also have MasterCard coming in today announcing that they've been granted a BIT license by the New York State Department of Financial Services. So, another traditional institution coming in, getting their BIT license in New York, which is very difficult to do. Well done by MasterCard. And they probably have a little bit better ability to get that done than just a crypto native company. MasterCard already kind of has their foot in the door, right? But you see it right here. DTCC, quadrillions per year coming on chain. And it's not all going to Stellar. I would bet serious money that you're going to see this multi-chain strategy for the DTCC also touch the XRP ledger as well too. You want as much access and liquidity as possible. So you're going to issue on Stellar. You're going to issue on XRP ledger. You're going to issue on a couple other chains too. Now, is the future the DTCC has all of this available on 20, 50 different blockchains? I don't think it's that many. But this is why we've selected a handful of these assets that we've moved into with size. And this is the announcements that we've been waiting for right here. So I just want to, acknowledge how important this is. This is a huge milestone for the digital asset space. And I also want to note here, we have an opportunity to change the conversation right now during this bear market as we look to build back up this bull run. This is the utility that we need to focus on, right? Leave the meme coins, all this stuff, right? Great. Have fun. God bless you. But these are the conversations, the partnerships, when we can say to somebody that we're trying to onboard to digital assets, when I'm trying to pitch it to my grandmother and she is scared to death that this is what I do for a living and that I'm, most of my net worth is invested in crypto. It scares her to death. God bless her. But I can tell her, right? When I can explain to my grandmother, when I can explain to a normal person that these financial institutions, these networks, these institutions like the DTCC are coming on chain, it's that proof, it's that validity that we need to onboard the masses. And it's the next time my grandmother's advisor calls her and tells her it's time to go into crypto, she'll be ready to make that allocation, right? This is how we see a new wave, a new bull run starts, and we have an opportunity to focus the narrative on utility. And I think this is a prime example. We need to celebrate this moment and hope that all of you guys are appreciating this moment for what it truly is. And don't rule out XRP yet either for DTCC flows. I think that they're going to make a little splash on the XRP ledger as well too. Now, before we go, I want to give a shout out to our sponsor, iTrust Capital. They have created a solution here to protect your digital assets that I believe is one of the best. One wrong click can drain a wallet forever. That's why more investors are rethinking how they custody crypto. When you look at the iTrust Capital platform and the couple different products that they've rolled out here, that closed loop system, which they are going to open up here down the road, but for now they've created it in a way where a hacker who took control of your computer, who, however they got access to your accounts and your computer, your platform, the only thing that they can do is withdraw to your own bank account. And I love this solution because every single day I get feedback, I get horror stories in our community of people losing their digital assets. And so do we put all of our crypto onto one cold wallet? Do we put it all onto one exchange? Would I send it all to iTrust Capital? That's not how I operate. I like to divvy it up against, a few different platforms, a few different cold wallets. I have some on exchanges that I use for trading, etc. But for those long-term holdings that I just want to keep safe, I love this solution that iTrust Capital rolled out. No, you right now you can't withdraw in kind, sure, but that hacker can't pull out your crypto either. And if they get access, the only thing that they can do is take that money to your bank account, and you'd be able to then secure everything and go buy that bag of crypto back. So we need more platforms like this. Like I said, to get my grandmother or regular people into crypto and not have to worry about getting hacked or scammed. I love the solutions that iTrust Capital have rolled out here. So check them out down below. When you use my link, you'll get a $100 funding bonus. And they have some of the best US-based customer support to help you guys out over there. Okay? Now, if you appreciate this update, if you want to celebrate this moment, please help us out by liking this video, smashing it for us, sharing it out far and wide. And if you're new here, just make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our updates. And as a reminder, we'll be back live tomorrow, Thursday, at our regular time, 10 p.m. Eastern. See you there. God bless. I am your host, Zach Rector. I really appreciate all of the love and support. If you want to support the channel, just remember that you can start by smashing that thumbs up for me, sharing this content far and wide, and everything else is at my website.